Hello reptile friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is India, aka Anacondiac, and today's video is another video that is completely not reptile related. We're going to be talking today about Chrissy Teigen and her brand new pet hamster Peanut Butter, who have both been causing a lot of controversy on Twitter. If you've been active on Twitter over the past couple of days, you'll have definitely seen something about Hamstergate, which has been this whole controversy surrounding Chrissy Teigen versus the whole pet community. It all started about 2 days ago when Chrissy brought Peanut Butter, the hamster, home. She'd gone out and bought a hamster with no kind of research done at all. She had no idea that Syrian hamsters couldn't be cohabbed together. She had no idea about the kind of diet that they needed. She had no idea about the kind of enclosure they needed either. So when she got home, she posted this video on Twitter of Peanut Butter chewing on the bars of her new enclosure with the caption, "Is this normal?" So the pet community really did rally together and told her that no, that really shouldn't be normal. Cage biting in hamsters is often a result of boredom or stress as the result of having too small of an enclosure. And if cage biting goes on for too long, it can result in a number of injuries, including broken or misaligned teeth as well as facial injuries. An enclosure that is too small, often like the ones pushed by pet stores, are often much smaller than the recommended minimum size of enclosure for hamsters, which can result in hamsters being stressed out by being cramped in an enclosure that is too small for them to roam around in. So before I get on to talking more about the right kind of enclosures that hamsters will thrive in, I want to go into a bit more detail about Chrissy's tweets regarding the incident. So the first tweet that I take issue with reads, "They told us we can feed her anything. My mum said, rice? And they go, no, not rice." Aside from that being incorrect, because hamsters actually can eat rice in small portions, this just goes to show that Chrissy had not done any research about hamsters or their diet prior to going to the pet shop to buy one. When the pet shop told her that hamsters could eat anything, that was making a large generalisation. Hamsters are naturally omnivorous and they should be fed a very varied diet to keep them happy and healthy. Just feeding them this or that without doing any proper research is not good rodent husbandry, and the fact that she had gone out to buy a hamster without doing any research on the very specific diet that they need is very problematic. The same goes for the fact that she asked if she could buy her new hamster a friend. While dwarf hamsters can be cohabited with success, Syrian hamsters like Peanut Butter cannot. They are solitary animals and do not gain anything from being housed with another animal. They will definitely not be friends, as Chrissy thought, and the likelihood is that they will fight. Chrissy said that the lady she talked to, which was probably an employee, said that cohabiting them together would result in bully scars. But the truth is that the dangers of cohabiting hamsters together could go a lot further than that. If they are housed together, they could fight, and then one could actually kill the other. Now imagine if she hadn't met that lady or that employee. Imagine if she'd gone out and brought home 2 hamsters instead of just 1. And then one of them had ended up injuring or killing the other one. That would have been completely Chrissy's fault as the result of going out and impulse buying pets without having done adequate research beforehand. So with all that being said, let's move on to the type of enclosures that hamsters really need to thrive versus the one that Chrissy bought for Peanut Butter. So it is generally agreed that the minimum recommended size of enclosure is one that has 450 square inches of floor space for the hamsters to roam around in. Either bin or tank enclosures are preferred because you can buy them quite cheaply and they are just wide enclosure spaces, whereas a lot of these small tiny hamster cages that you see with all the little tubes and all the little kind of compartments, they don't actually have a large surface area for the hamster to roam around in, even though they do have these little tubes and compartments. That is not the same as having a large amount of floor space. Bin enclosures and tank enclosures are often great as well because it allows you to really load up the substrate to give it a good couple of inches, which is amazing as hamsters love to burrow and dig tunnels. Tanks are also definitely more secure, and Peanut Butter proved this because already in just the 2 days that Chrissy has had Peanut Butter, she has escaped twice already. Hamsters cover a really diverse area in the wild. You can find them in Belgium, to Greece, to Syria, and even northern China. There are about 26 species of hamster in the wild, but there are only about 5 species that are kept in captivity as pets. They are most active at night, where in the wild they would spend hours and hours after dark foraging for food. In the wild, they really do cover miles searching for food, which is why it's so important to give them an enclosure with as much space as humanly possible. They will utilise every square inch of space in that enclosure. By keeping hamsters in small wire cages, we are taking animals that need to roam. It's in their very nature, it's in their biology, it's inbuilt in them to explore and to roam. It's what they do. They sleep in the day and then at night they go out and they forage and they explore. And you are taking an animal that does all of that and forcing it to live its entire life in something that is just as big as that by that. It's not acceptable at all. Why do we think that it is okay? Why is it generally accepted that that is okay? Now, we don't know what brand of enclosure that Chrissy bought for peanut butter. However, small wire cages have unfortunately become the standard. Cages like that are recommended by pet shops despite not being the very best option for hamsters. Due to the popularity of children keeping small animals like hamsters, there are so many cages considered cute on the market that are so unsuitable for hamsters, it's ridiculous. And yet people buy them because they are not properly educated about the subject, and as I said, because they are cute and they like how they look. A brand called Critter Trails is probably the worst offender of the lot when it comes to these kind of cute cages. Critter Trails is manufactured by Katie, a brand responsible for producing many products sold for rodents which are actually unsafe, such as their scented bedding and cotton nesting material, as well as the tiny cages marketed for hamsters and other rodents. Critter Trails cages usually have below 200 square inches of floor space, which is less than half the minimum recommended size for hamsters. In addition to that, often their inbuilt wheels are way too small for hamsters. So why are pet shops still selling them and actually pushing them to their customers? As long as people are going into pet shops uneducated and buying products like these tiny little cute cages, they're telling companies like Katie that there is demand for them and that people want their products. And as long as there is a demand, these products will be kept on being manufactured and sold. Now, Chrissy admitted that she had done little to no research before getting peanut butter with this absolute belter of a tweet. You should have done your research before getting a living, breathing animal. Well, newsflash, I had 2 babies that I didn't research either. Why are you proud of this? Why? Why? Why are you proud of this? Admitting that you did no research before getting an animal isn't something to be proud of at all. You are admitting that you have walked into a pet shop having done no research and impulse bought an animal that you have got little to no knowledge about. Getting defensive when you're called out solves absolutely nothing. The issue with influencers getting pets on impulse or keeping them with below adequate care is that a lot of people look up to them and think that this behaviour is okay. Now, Chrissy has 10.9 million followers on Twitter alone. If she glamorises a tiny cage for her hamster, at least some people, at least some of her followers are going to see that and think that that is okay. They think that she might be really educated on the topic and that she knows what she's talking about, when in fact she hasn't done any research. So chances are some of her followers might go out and do the same thing. They might impulse buy a hamster or buy exactly the same cage and do what she did. If an influencer can go into a pet shop and impulse buy an animal, then it is setting such a bad example for the millions of followers that they have. So many people follow and look up to Chrissy, and it's the job of influencers to do a really good job and to set a good example for their fans, and Chrissy is just not doing that in this case with Peanut Butter the hamster. My point being, if Chrissy had spent even an hour researching about information on hamsters, she could have found so much more excellent information about what they need and how to look after them. It's simply not okay to just do 5 minutes of Googling and then go out and buy a new pet. As owners, we are solely responsible for the lives of our pets. If they live a short life filled with stress and boredom, that's on us. If they sustain injuries or even get killed as a result of us cohabiting them with another animal that they shouldn't be, that's on us as well. It's our responsibility as owners to keep researching and keep improving on our pet husbandry. And it is true that everybody makes mistakes, but you're putting yourself and your new pet at an absolutely massive disadvantage if you're going out and impulse buying an animal with no prior research. Depending on the species of hamster that you have, they should live anywhere from 1.5 years to 3 years. And if your hamster dies early as a result of stress or injury from an improper cage or because of an improper diet, or any other improper husbandry, then that's on you as an owner. So Chrissy did end up ordering a 2-storey glass condo with a hammock. Until this arrives, there is no way to know whether or not this new enclosure will have the minimum recommended floor space of 450 square inches. But it is a definite good start and a step forward for Chrissy and Peanut Butter. However, for her to say, "Stop yelling at me," it's so aggravating when there's just been concerned members of the pet community desperately trying to help her pet hamster. People wouldn't have had to tweet at her at all if she'd done the correct research before going out and buying Peanut Butter and provided an adequate enclosure for her from the very start. And these are the same people trying to help her as well. Catch Peanut Butter, who has managed to escape twice since. Like, these people are just trying to help you help your hamster. They're not trying to bully you, they're not trying to hate on you, they just want you to help your hamster as best as you possibly can, because that is all about being the best pet owner. The pet community is not trying to bully or send hate. We are just here to educate and correct the misinformation that is all over the internet on pet care. By impulse buying a pet and then talking this way about the people that are just trying to help her, she is undoing all of the really hard work that the pet community has been doing to stop the spread of misinformation and instead to spread correct information all about animals and pet care. Now, Chrissy, I'm not going to say thank you for upgrading Peanut Butter's enclosure when you should have bought something like that from the very start. This isn't spreading hate, this is spreading facts. Please, please, please accept the responsibility that you have as an influencer. Set a good example of how to own a pet hamster to your millions of followers and give Peanut Butter the best life possible, not just the bare minimum. Accept that you did wrong. Please thank the people that have helped you and try and make this into a gigantic learning lesson so that the people who follow you don't make the same mistakes that you did. Please do your research before buying a new pet, and just because your favourite influencer has gone out and impulse bought an animal does not mean that you should do the same. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I know it was long and I know it was rambly and I know it was not about reptiles again, but I did feel it was really, really important and needed to be addressed. If you would like to see more of me, you can actually find me on Twitter and Instagram now at Anachondriac, the same way that it's spelled here on YouTube. If you like the colour yellow and you like reptiles, then you should definitely check out my Instagram feed. I know you'll like it. If you haven't already, then please remember to subscribe to my channel and click the little bell notification, and then you will never miss one of my uploads. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and please leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. If you want to support my channel, I will also leave my Patreon link in the description box below so you can support me and help me make more videos for you guys. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye guys!